and used at the center.
You know how many people have been enumerated, how many disbursements. So these disbursements applied and disbursed, these are updated after verifications. So some of these numbers you see, we have a small backlog that's not been verified. So it's verified and then we track it accordingly. And then the amount that's disbursed, we can also track real time by value chain, how many people have been disbursed, what value chain they are into, what kind of trade they are involved in. And then we can see individual candidates.
Testimonies abound from beneficiaries of trader money across the country.
So my name is Faromo Grace. I've collected the money. I've bought the market already. And it has been profit for us. So thank God. And we really thank the federal government for remembering us. So we really thank them. God will bless them.
I'm Mrs. Nerogo. I think let's 2,000 again add the goes I have Buribuka. I am working Benita quick refund the money back. I had the buy Buribu. Yanasi him Okoji. We have under widows and I didn't win in your marker. You want to hear Wokeru Ryan now. You retire. I speak open doors. I don't be there, Muamma. Even the wanted to be a government. How are you to make on quotation can lay more to make? I cannot read the federal government, the required trade money.
Sunana Ibrahim, and then me do good in a kisanata, Nake Wazua, Jigawa, Ulaneke Isero. You will not name a shekara who can as well. A poetrana to wasn't Jekasua, Sunataru the Mutane. Sai suna cewa ai gashi abu tallafi ne ake barwa za a dauke hotonka da sadarka cikin waya da sauransu sai na tsaya ni ma aka yi mu to bayan na tafi yau kwana kusan 20 da wani abu shi kenan sai na samu alert shine abu kuma sai aka ce ya tafi wajen masu bada tallafi shine sai na yi sauri na taho don tabbatar da cewa abun gaskiya ne ko ba gaskiya bane sai kuma lokacin na samu abun gaskiya ne.
The Jeep Trader Money Command Center will ensure that the objectives of the scheme are met by tracking and attending to complaints and inquiries.
This command center is our way of monitoring activity of the program across the country. Today we have 4,000 agents who wake up every morning going to the markets, capturing petty traders on their tablets, getting their information, learning about their trade, introducing the loan scheme to them. If they want the loan, they accept the loan and they accept the terms. All of that information is captured live on the markets, in the market rather, and even their GPS location and pictures of them and their trade. All of that data feeds into this data warehouse. And from here we have a team of people who monitor all that activity and verify the registrations, that they are petty traders, that they are Nigerians, which is not difficult to verify, their phone numbers. Sometimes we call them, we ask them where they are, what market they are in, do they want the loan, we explain the process to them, and if they accept, then we do a disbursement to them, so they get a disbursement on their mobile wallets. That is for trader money. And then we already have agents in the field who will do the cash out for them, so they will take that mobile wallet disbursement and they convert it to cash. And that is the way that the program runs across the country to give currently 1.5 million loans across all 36 states and the FCT.
The program is being run out of Bank of Industry, and what Bank of Industry has brought to the program is the technology. The trader money is paid through mobile wallets to the petty traders, and what that means is that we have more than 4,000 agents working with us. They go into the field, they do the enumeration. After the enumeration, which they do at the point of trade, it goes into our system, and what the system does is the whitelisting. And so basically it cleans out the data so that only those that are credible, those that actually qualify for trader money will now remain on the whitelist. And it is this whitelist that feeds into the mobile wallet. Now, when they get credit or value on the mobile wallet, that's like carrying cash. It's as good as cash. But then it has to translate to cash. And at that point, we now have agents that help them turn that value on their phones into cash.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Ubangiji da Osibanjo da Buhari.
Wanda yake ina siyasa a kasuwa bana shekara 43 kenan. Alhamdulillah ban taba ganin gwamnati mai tausayi ba, mai adalci, wata cire kuɗi cash yake bin ɗan kasuwa ya rufa 10,000. Wani ɗan kasuwa doya yake saidawa, wani ɗan kasuwa tumatir yake saidawa, jari shi ya kare an ɗaga shi.
Thank you, federal government. Thank you, traders Moni.
Nothing is small. There is no government that have ever done this to us. We want all the whole world, both the small and the big and the little, should pray for the government.
The visit and tour of the Vice President to the BOI Trader Money Command Center was indeed a morale booster and tonic for the countless hours of hard work put into ensuring that the federal government's objective of boosting the businesses of traders and artisans to further alleviate poverty are achieved. Trader Money! That's our package on social investment focus for now. We would be glad to have you join us again. I am Shehu or Lagunju. Thanks for watching.
There is an epidemic affecting individuals in every community, regardless of age, economic status, gender, race, religion, or nationality. It is called domestic violence. It can take a number of forms, including physical, verbal, emotional, economic, religious, or sexual abuse. The ultimate aim of domestic violence is to gain and maintain total control over its victim. Domestic violence does not discriminate. It happens among people of all ages, ethnic background, and economic levels. While women are more commonly victimized, men are also abused, especially verbally and emotionally, although sometimes even physically as well. Unfortunately, domestic violence is among the most underreported crimes worldwide for both men and women. An abuser doesn't play fair. He or she uses fear, guilt, shame, and intimidation to wear down his or her victims and keep them perpetually under his or her control. Abusers may often seem wonderful and perfect initially, but gradually become more aggressive and controlling as the relationship continues. Here are some signs of abusive tendencies: showing jealousy of the victim's family and friends, accusing victim of cheating, controlling who the victim sees, where they go, or what they do, preventing the victim from making his or her own decision, intimidating the victim with guns, knives, or other weapons. Noticing and acknowledging the signs of an abusive relationship is the first step to ending it. Therefore, abusive behavior is never acceptable, whether it is coming from a man or a woman, a teenager or an older adult. We all deserve to be valued, respected, and safe.
In the beginning was a dream.
To the concept of migrating from the analog to the digital system.
NTA has 8 network channels. Before then, all our content were competing for one network.
As we go on,
we are very specialized. We have the parliament, entertainment, languages. Each and every one of them has its own identity that caters for a particular group of audience that cuts across the nation at large.
Driving the dream in a language you understand.
Get a channel that's adapted to your local needs.
Taking you along every inch of the way. NTA multi-channel, a network within the network. You can't beat the rich.
My name is DK Berry Charles. I'm from Agata local government area, Anambra State. I'm privileged to be one of the beneficiaries of this Empower and Health. To be specific, I'm a graduate of Human Anatomy.
My name is Abubakar Musa Sufi. I'm from Kano State, Fage local government. I study in Kano State University of Science and Technology as a food scientist.
Applied for the Empower program, but I was reluctant because of the way that things have been going in this country. You know, is based on who you know, based on favoritism, your godfather, or maybe nepotism, religion, and ethnic stuff like that. So when we went there in Fege local government, it was not based on maybe religion or ethnicity, but it was surely based on merit. Once you have your credential on ground, you are good to go.
I must testify that it is free of any form of nepotism.
NTA, you can't beat the rich.
I am Adeola
On the news, Nigeria's first civilian president dies.
Our main problem is employment. We are very lucky. The 2 previous rainy seasons were good, and we have virtually achieved food security.
APC rolls out 3-pronged approach to reposition Nigeria as party begins presidential campaign.
Baga is not in the hands of Boko Haram. We have taken control of Baga.
Baga town in the fringes of Lake Chad, not under Boko Haram siege, just as Governor Yari seeks peace in Zamfara. Good evening and compliments of the season. Welcome to NTA Network News from Abuja. I'm Elizabeth Stoban. Reading with me tonight is Elizabeth Omori in Lagos. We begin rather on a sad note as we join Sokoto Network Center for a report on the death of Nigeria's first executive civilian president, Shehu Usman Aliyu Shagari. Over now to Asmao in Sokoto.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Good evening and welcome to Sokoto. Nigeria's civilian president in the Second Republic, Shehu Usman Aliyu Shagari, dies at 93. He died this evening in Abuja after a protracted illness. In this report, Muhammad Nasir examines the lifetime and contributions of the late former president.
We don't want division. We don't want north-south confrontation anymore. We want all Nigerians, wherever they are, to regard themselves as brothers and sisters.
Strong and united Nigeria was one of the cardinal objectives of the administration of the first executive president, Shehu Usman Aliyu Shagari. During his electioneering campaign, he coined the slogan, "One nation, one destiny, one Nigeria."
One nation, one destiny, one Nigeria.
After the introduction of Richard Constitution, which enabled Nigerians to participate in the governance of the nation, Shehu Shagari was elected as member House of Representatives and served as parliamentary secretary to the Prime Minister and later become minister.
He was a president of the country and working very hard. He was a hard-working gentleman.
In 1979, Shehu Shagari was elected as the first executive president under the platform of National Party of Nigeria, NPN. He was instrumental for many developmental projects in economy and industrial development. A former minister during Shagari's regime, Alhaji Idris Koko, says the rejection of devaluation of Naira as proposed by IMF by President Shehu Shagari was one of the attempts to make Nigeria's economy stronger.
It was widely discussed at the Executive Council level. She consulted all financial experts in this country, and everybody was against it because at that time, during the time, Naira was the second strongest currency in the world. Apart from the British pound, no currency was stronger than the Naira. The dollar was only 1.3.
Great Green Revolution was another program introduced by former president that saw the establishment of river basins in many parts of Nigeria, which contributed a lot toward boosting food security.
He's a very humble and humane person. He's highly principled, and he's somebody who's not been trained to fail. He lives in mutual respect, or reciprocal respect, lives in teamwork, and he is a man of utmost transparency.
After the military intervention in 1983, which ended the Shagari's administration, the former president remains happily in his hometown with his contributions felt by Nigerians. Beacon to Serve and Wakar Nigeria are books authored by Shehu Shagari as educationists who work tirelessly to develop education. He holds traditional title of Triken Sokoto, a senior council member in the Sultanate Council Sokoto. In Sokoto State, some places are named after the former president to immortalize him. They include Shehu Shagari College of Education, Main Gate of Sokoto Central Market, and Shehu Shagari Way. He established Shehu Shagari World Institute of Leadership and Good Governance and the Chairman Board of Trustee of the Sokoto Education Development Trust Fund. In Sokoto, Muhammad Nasir, NTA News.
Abdurrahman Usman Jibrila also tells us more on the appeal of the late president to Nigerians on the need to live in peace.
We use this opportunity to appeal to you and through you to all Nigerians to continue to give peace a chance, especially during this election period.
That was the former president, Shehu Shagari, addressing newsmen and other people
who called on him when the news of his purported death spreaded on the 22nd of March 2015. Late President Shehu Shagari thanked Nigerians for the love and care he received from them.
It's not easy. Any person in the position which I am, it's not easy for him to express his feeling over the people who are with him. What surprised me is that almost everybody is now with me.
Last month, on the 6th of November 2018, members of the Barewa All Boys Association paid courtesy visit on the former president at his residence in Sokoto to see and pray for his good health. The former president could not utter a word to them, but his eldest son, Bala Shagari, thanked the delegation over the visit. In Sokoto, Abraman Usman Jibrila, NTA News.
And that's it from Sokoto. Is back to Elizabeth in Abuja for more on the news. Good evening.
Thank you, Asmao. And here in Abuja, Mohammed Abubakar has more tributes on Nigeria's first civilian president from 1979 to 1983.
I've been in government for many years, and I've seen things happen. I have been close to people in power right from the beginning, right from independence.
That was late Nigeria's former President Shehu Usman Aliyu Shagari, while featuring on an NTA program Shagari at 92. Born on the 25th of February 1925, Shehu Usman Aliyu Shagari was Nigeria's civilian president from 1979 to 1983. He hailed from Shagari village in Sokoto State and had his early education in Sokoto and Zaria, after which he took up to teaching profession. In 1954, late Shagari was elected into the Federal House of Representatives, after which he held several posts and was a member of Nigeria's administration in 1960. In 1979, he contested for the presidential election under the platform of the defunct National Party of Nigeria and won, and subsequently sworn in as Nigeria's democratically elected president. As newly inaugurated civilian president, late Shehu Usman Aliyu Shagari initiated several steps to address Nigeria's economy that was then in bad shape. Late Shagari was ousted in a military coup on 31st December 1983, after which he retired in his hometown Shagari to embrace farming and became an active councillor in the Sultanate Council Sokoto. Late Shagari, who authored so many books, left behind many children, grandchildren and great-grandchildren. He will be buried tomorrow in Sokoto. In Abuja, Muhammad Abubakar, NTA News.
Now, a special tribute on late former President Shehu Shagari comes up at 11 p.m. All NTA stations are advised to hook up. In other news now, continuity of development and diversification of the economy is what Nigerians are to expect as the governing All Progressives Congress government pledges to continue the transformation drive. This came to bear at the APC South-South presidential campaign flag-off in Akwa Ibom State.
Children, is that so? Yes. There is empower for our young children, is that so?
Yes. Action, they say, speaks louder than words. Those were just a few given opportunity to mention little out of the numerous developmental achievements of the Buhari administration in the past 3 years. Recounting with nostalgia, the APC administration in 2015 promised to tackle 3 fundamental issues that centered on the economy, security, and fight against corruption.
In the Northeast has been really won in the sense that when we came, Boko Haram, about 17 local governments in Borno and Yobe states. They are not holding physically any local government now. I assure you that eventually we are going to clear them off from our country. The second thing about the economy, our population is over 60% of young men, that is 30 years and below. Our main problem is employment. We are very lucky. The 2 previous rainy seasons were good, and we have virtually achieved food security. In the question of corruption, I decided to follow what this system accepts, and that those who are corrupt, they will be arrested and prosecuted. We are doing that, and we will not stop.
This stadium filled to capacity. For one thing, the progress of our nation, Nigeria, to endorse the continuity of hope, the continuity of development.
I believe, Mr. President, you would have observed those by this roadside who came out on their own, and they were all smiling and waving, which shows that the people of Akwa Ibom State not only welcome you, we are reassured that they will vote APC.
The point I want to make is that the 2019 election is all about integrity versus others. Mr. President has the integrity.
The president was later handed over the All Progressives Congress flag, signaling the official flag of his campaign in South Nigeria. Olajide Bello, NTA News.
Now, joining me in Uyo is Senator Godswill Akpabio. Now, you're welcome to our studio. Now, APC just flagged off its presidential campaign in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. Why the choice of the South-South to kickstart President Muhammadu Buhari's re-election campaign?
For having me in the studio, I want to just say NTA is doing a great job for Nigeria. The choice of the South-South for the flag of President Buhari's campaigns for 2019 is very unique. I believe strongly that it is because of the importance that Mr. President attaches to the South-South region. First of all, it is the recognition of the fact that the South-South has contributed a lot to the economic well-being of Nigeria. And secondly, the South-South today has shown more progress in terms of supporting Mr. President. We are very delighted, we are very proud that yes, indeed, despite the difficulties he has faced in the economy since he came on board, he has done a lot for the region. And if you look at the situation of what we make second Niger Bridge, you come down to even the completion of the East-West Road. Then you come down to most of the what I may say, the dualization and of course the railway lines, the completion of the ongoing projects that President Jonathan left, such as the international airport constructions everywhere. You will see that here is a man who is prepared to turn the region around. And here is a man who is prepared to bring development to our people. So I wasn't surprised when the entirety of the APC in Nigeria decided to come to the South-South region to flag off. And I tell you that they were not also disappointed. The region is ready and ripe for Mr. President. And I am very delighted that they turn out in their thousands and they are jubilating all over the place. Everywhere was change. And the first region in Nigeria, first zone, immediately after the presidential election in February, the first zone that announced their result, victory for President Buhari, is the South-South zone. So we are happy and we thank him and thank the APC family for bringing the rally to this zone.
You said he has done a lot in terms of projects in the South-South. But what do you think are the chances of the APC in making inroad to that zone?
Honestly speaking, if you are talking about chances, I said something. When I used to be a governor, people used to call me the uncommon transformer. And I said, even the blind could see, even the blind could feel. Because the blind person that walks on the road knows when there is no more pothole on the road. Today, if you can feel the impact of the penetration of the APC in the South-South region. That's the simple truth about it. In 2015, the South-South had a presidential candidate in the then PDP that I belonged. But in 2019, we don't have a single presidential candidate. And if you look at the politics of Nigeria, right from the 60s, you'll notice that the South-South region had always gone with their northern counterparts. And today it's even something that is widened. Today you have the Southwest going with the North, and now the South-South region very eager to join their northern counterparts. And I always said it, that the reason why we're not with the president in 2015 was because we had a presidential candidate. And today he has brought militancy, totally diminished militancy in the South-South region. He has continued with the amnesty program. He has been able to empower so many of our people. He has given opportunities far more than we ever had before. And in a place like Akwa Ibom, for instance, we have never had 1 kilometer of constructed road throughout the period I was in the PDP. I'm saying from 1999. The time we saw flicker of hope in the South-South region was when I was governor for 8 years. And even then, there was not even a kilometer of road that was done from the federal government side. But this president has come up, he has refunded even the funds that were used in federal road constructions. He has gone ahead to refund what we call Paris Club refunds. There's some of the states having over $200 million refunded to them, not minding the fact that these are opposition states. So if you look at it very critically, you'll see that even the governments of the South-South region will be very delighted to join the citizens of the South-South to support this president. And please also take cognizance of the fact that when he was in the military, he joined to liberate this region. I can tell you that the penetration is deeper than you realize.
Godswill Akpabio, thank you for sharing your thoughts with us on NTA Network News. Now, in the meantime, the All Progressives Congress, APC, has released the names of members of its Presidential Campaign Council for the 2019 elections. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, says President Muhammadu Buhari is the Council's chairman, while Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the co-chairman. Deputy chairmen of the council include Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo and the APC National Chairman, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole. Senator George Akume is the council's Vice Chairman North, while Senator Ken Nnamani is the Vice Chairman South. Rotimi Amechi is the council's Director General, while Senator Mamora is its Deputy Director General Operations. And President Muhammadu Buhari this Friday assured the people of Ogun State that the only gubernatorial candidate of the All Progressives Congress in the 2019 election is Prince Dapo Abiodun. This was when former governor of the state and chieftain of the party, Olusegun Oshoba, formally presented the party's gubernatorial candidate to the president at the Asu Villa. Both former Governor Olusegun Oshoba and Prince Dapo Abiodun commended President Muhammadu Buhari for standing firm with the party and for clearing the air on issues surrounding the APC in Ogun State.
The candidate of APC, and the president has raised his hand and told the world that his candidate in Ogun State is Prince Dapo Abiodun, and that he has no other candidate. His party in Ogun State is APC. He has no other party in Nigeria other than APC. He has assured us that he will personally come to Ogun State to formally present Prince Dapo Abiodun as his candidate.
I think that affirmation comes at a very, could not have come at a better time, when there's a lot of ambiguity, when people have attempted to spread falsehood and all manner kind of misinformation. So I am very elated and very reassured that our president has stood by the party and stood by me and cleared the air on this matter. And I believe that this matter will finally be put to rest.
We're not done with stories from the political scene. Politicians have been advised to play politics in accordance with the rule to ensure a hitch-free and successful electioneering campaign ahead of the 2019 general elections. The governorship candidate under the platform of the Young Progressive Party, YPP, in Taraba State, Alhaji Ahmed Umar Salim, gave the charge during his campaign rally in Jalingo, the state capital. Awal Abdullahi reports.
Young Progressive Party YPP supporters in the state have organized a rally in support of the governorship candidate of the party, Alhaji Ahmed Umar Salim. The gubernatorial candidate was accompanied by a large crowd of party members and traversed some major streets of the city center, acknowledging greetings from his teaming supporters. The YPP governorship candidate, who appreciated the level of support and cooperation accorded him, assured for purposeful leadership if given the mandate. He called on YPP members and supporters to play politics without bitterness and to always abide by the rule of law in the interest of peaceful coexistence in the society. He urged youth to desist from political thuggery and to avoid any act capable of overheating the polity. The party members promised to galvanize support for the party and to ensure peaceful conduct of the 2019 general elections. In Jalingo, Awal Abdullahi, NTA News.
Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has described as untrue and a creation of a sinking opposition in Kwara State, alleging that he sponsored a live television broadcast deliberately to embarrass the Ilorin Emirate. The minister made the clarification in Ilorin shortly after a meeting with the executive of the All Progressives Congress. Anthony Forson reports that the minister equally used the opportunity to clear the air on some issues on the state of affairs in the state.
Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed, shortly after his meeting with the All Progressives Congress executives in Kwara State, was quick to remind that fake news spewers will be at work in the build-up to the 2019 election. He cited a recent Ilorin incident.
The PDP in Kwara State is in panic mode. They are in the total disarray. They know they've lost this election. So they have resorted to blackmail and outright lies. How could I have arranged a live coverage for a program I was not even aware was taking place? Just about 2 weeks before now, they also raised a false story that I insulted the Emirates. They deliberately twisted my words when they suffered that debilitating defeat at the last by-election at my federal constituency to try and pitch me against the Emirates. So I just consider this as another act of desperation on the part of this sinking boat leadership of the PDP in Kwara State. There's absolutely no truth there. I was not around. I was in Lagos. I was not even aware of the meeting until I saw it in the social media myself.
Lai Mohammed equally explained the outcome of his meeting with the Kwara State APC executive.
I'm very impressed and very encouraged by the level of confidence they've exhibited. Very firm belief that the 2019 general elections will be a walkover for APC.
On the Kwara State court ruling and APC in the state probably not having a candidate, he said,
I read the court judgment, and there's nowhere in the court judgment that spoke about our candidate not being the viable candidate. Of course, we have already, appealed the judgment for other reasons.
The minister described the situation in Kwara State as the handiwork of Kwara people who are thirsty for a change. From Ilorin, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
You're watching NTA Network News. Time to take a break to bring you some messages. We'll be back in just a moment. Stay with us.
Next. Lagbaja. Omo Baba Muko.
Na Baba be that.
How do I know you are not an impostor? Oh yeah, play me something.
Abba, my band members are all over the world. Let me connect with them on Glow 4G and make some great music for you. Who's on Glow here?
I got Glow. Well, I've got Glow too.
I go show you.
Hello, sir.
Aleki, Gogo, Jide, guitar. Uzo, give me conga. Ahmed, keyboard. 1, 2, 3.
No matter where you are in the world, rest assured, Glow has you covered. Glow Oga SIM, the unrivaled big boss of data. Upgrade to a 4G SIM for free and get 125% bonus. Also enjoy 25% data bonus on all auto renewals. Dial *777# to choose a plan.
Election 2019 is here.
This is a clarion call to all Nigerians by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. On February 16, 2019, presidential and National Assembly elections will be conducted nationwide. Similarly, on March 2nd, 2019, governorship and state assembly elections will take place. INEC is committed to making the 2019 general elections the best we have ever had. Credible persons are being recruited and trained to handle polling units and collation centers at all levels. Our card readers have been upgraded and will be deployed to all polling units to prevent voter impersonation. We will involve technology in the conduct of elections to prevent fraud. Your votes will count. Join hands with the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Let's make Nigeria proud. This message is from the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. INEC, making your votes count, consolidating our democracy.
As the number of people wey people dey born dey reduce, na so the money wey dem dey get to spend dey increase. Enough proof don dey to show say countries where dem families dey born, the number of people wey dem fit take care of, the stress to take care of the children no dey plenty at all for the family. If families fit dey enjoy this kind benefit of expenses wey no dey too much, you fit imagine how e go fit help boost country economy like Nigeria own. As leader wey you be, the solution dey your hand, and wetin you need to do na to take action now. All we lawmakers and everybody wey dey power and government must make sure say dem put enough money down wey go make sure say childbirth spacing wey plenty people sabi as family planning services full everywhere. Our pastors, imam, and traditional leaders suppose open mouth tell them people about the better thing where child spacing they do. This work, now our handy day, we get the full responsibility to do them. We must join hand and get it together, make our future for bright. Now Federal Ministry of Health, they bring you this message.
Season's greetings from the Nigeria Police Force. The Inspector General of Police, IGP Ibrahim Batum Idris, NPM, MNI, on behalf of the entire officers and men of the Nigeria Police Force, felicitates with the entire Christian community in our great country Nigeria as they celebrate this year's Christmas and New Year. He enjoins the Christians faithful to emulate the virtues of Jesus Christ by propagating peace, demonstrating love, forgiveness, and harmonious coexistence among citizens irrespective of religious, ethnic, and political inclinations. The IGP assures all Nigerians of adequate security before, during, and after the Yuletide, hence the massive deployment of officers and men of the force across the country. However, he appeals to the public to partner with police by being vigilant, security conscious, and providing useful information to the police deployed in their localities. Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year in advance.
3G is great. 4G is better. You don't know what you're missing till you experience it. Buy an Airtel SIM to enjoy double data on Nigeria's widest 4G network.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
We are here to invite you to our 2018 into 2019 crossover service titled Crossover Without Carryover. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be powerful. The presence of God will be tangible. The anointing will be heavy. The word will be strong. And there will be multiplied testimonies. Amen. At the Glory Dome on the Lord's Garden on the airport road of Abuja by 9 p.m. of Monday.
We look forward to seeing you. We want you to especially be our guest. And I know that your testimonies begin to resound from that night.
You will never remain the same.
Amen.
God bless you.
Amen.
In Jesus' precious name. Amen.
Thank you for staying with us on NTA Network News. Now, 49 days to the 2019 general elections, the Nigerian Army says it will conduct exercise Egweke 3 Python dance across the country. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa has details.
Egweke is an Igbo phrase that means Python dance, which is a code name for a military exercise aimed at training troops and securing Nigerians. The first and second phase of the exercise was held in the southeastern region in 2016 and 2017.
It yielded positive results in checkmating the security challenges being witnessed in the region then.
What is the significance of exercise Egweke 3?
For the first time, the exercise will be conducted simultaneously across the whole country. It is also a reassurance of the resolve of the Nigerian Army and indeed the entire armed forces of Nigeria, as well as other security agencies, to ensure that law and order is maintained as we approach the forthcoming 2019 general elections.
The Army appealed to the public to provide timely information to ensure the success of exercise Egweke Python Dance 3 that will be conducted simultaneously across the 6 geopolitical zone. From the headquarters Theater Command in Maiduguri, Borno State, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
And contrary to speculation, Baga local government area in northern Borno State is not under the control of the Boko Haram terrorist group. The Chief of Training and Operations, Major General Lamidi Adeosun, said this at a news conference in Maiduguri, Borno State. Again, Ismail Musa was there as the Military Control and Command Base 1 venue of the event.
Baga in the fringes of the Lake Chad is about 4 hours drive from Maiduguri, the Borno State capital. The area known for fishing was attacked by the Boko Haram terrorist group at about 7 p.m. Wednesday, 26 December 2018.
So Baga is not in the hands of Boko Haram. We have taken control of Baga.
The Chief of Training and Operations noted that the Army has re-strategized and are conducting clearance operations in the area. From the headquarters Operation Lafia Dole in Maiduguri, Borno State, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
The residence of the senator representing Kogi West, Dino Melaye, was this afternoon besieged by personnel believed to be operatives of the Nigerian police. John Yaku reports.
About 12 noon, information got to NTA News that the house of the senator representing Kogi was besieged by the Nigerian police. A visit to the house along Shanga Street in Abuja, Maitama, reveals that 2 vehicles actually blocked the entrance into the house of the senator, with policemen walking in and out of the premises. However, no details were given as to why they were there.
Visibly in front of the senator's house is a police-branded vehicle. A brother to the senator told newsmen that the operatives who came in mufti besieged the house and denied entrance to anyone.
they arranged themselves in Mufti. They took over this strait, walking from the end to the beginning of Sanga Strait. West. We didn't know exactly what was happening then.
Meanwhile, the police says its operatives are in the residence of the senator to effect his arrest over an attempted culpable homicide involving Police Sergeant Danjuma Saliu. The statement says the officer was attached to 37 Police Mobile Force stop and sight point along Aitoro, Mokpa Road in Kogi State when the incident occurred. In Abuja, John Yaku, NTA News.
Zamfara State Governor Abdulaziz Yari says he supports the declaration of state of emergency if it is the only alternative to the lingering security problems bedeviling the state. The governor stated this while addressing newsmen shortly after meeting with stakeholders on security. Haliru Muhammad Umar has more.
The incessant killings and kidnappings of people in various communities of Zamfara State prompted the governor to summon an emergency meeting of stakeholders as part of effort towards finding lasting solution to the security problem. Addressing newsmen after the meeting, Governor Abdulaziz Yari regretted that the problem has persisted following the involvement of indigents of the state in the kidnappings of their close relatives. The governor, who described security as a shared responsibility, blamed the continued killings in the state on informants for supporting armed bandits and kidnappers in carrying out the heinous acts. Alhaji Abdulaziz Yari, who acknowledged that the security operatives in the state are up and doing, said as a governor, he has never abdicated his responsibility of protecting lives and property of the people, but emphasized the need for all hands to be on deck to tackle the problem.
To me, insecurity is insecurity, and I had never one time compromised the issue of security turn into politics. I have to follow the process, due diligence, intelligence, and find what intent of the water. So the devil will tell me what the situation is, and I'll deal with it according to what the report is.
In Gusau, Haliru Muhammad Umar, NTA News.
You're watching NTA Network News. Let's now join Elizabeth in Lagos for more stories. Over to you, Elizabeth.
It's nice to see you, Lizzie, and compliments of the season. Over the years, the nation's education sector has been under constant criticism over what experts described as poor service delivery and overall non-performance. Inadequate funding and misappropriation of funds are among the key factors identified as being responsible for the anomaly. However, the current administration under President Muhammadu Buhari has taken bold steps, which they say is gradually transforming the sector. Jane Ojukwu takes a look at the education sector in 2018.
The major event that marked the end of 2018 in the education sector was the ban of cyber cafes from registering and conducting JAMB examination, a step taken by the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board JAMB to protect candidates from being exploited.
They were doing services that they do not have capacity to do.
Also during the year, the West African Examination Council WAEC conducted its first second diet West African School Certificate Examination WAS for private candidates, making Nigeria the first to conduct the second diet for private candidates.
Felt that to just wait for one opportunity may be unfair to them, and so that's why we decided to expand the scope and the space for the private candidates.
The National Open University of Nigeria now also felt the transformational strides of the current administration as the president recently assented to its Amendment Act, removing some of the disparities experienced by its students.
These provisions and others will set now on a trajectory for improved delivery of quality university education.
Now is not the only tertiary institution that has benefited from the impactful steps of the current administration. Despite the positive steps and the progress recorded so far in the sector, the ongoing strike by the Academic Staff Union of Universities and that of the polytechnics remained a major challenge that should be urgently addressed.
No matter what they're asking for, though it might not be easy to do, but they should at least cater for their needs and wants.
Observers are of the opinion that government should strengthen monitoring and supervision and prioritize training and retraining of teachers to improve service delivery in the sector. In Lagos, Jane Ojukwu, NTA News.
The prison environment before now was a breeding ground for unrepentant criminals associated with incarceration and torment. This caught the federal government's attention and steps were immediately taken to right the wrongs. Annie Daniels, who recently visited some prisons across Lagos, came back excited because of what she saw on ground.
Kirikiri prison soap, antiseptic soap, is for betting. And we produce all these things there. Most of our products are being sold outside.
These are some prison inmates in Lagos speaking on the skills acquired while serving their terms. The dilapidated state of prisons across Nigeria and poor welfare package for authorities moved the federal government into working assiduously to change the narrative. Today, there is a huge success story. To further actualize and sustain this dream, individuals and organizations also contribute their quota. Little wonder, Nigerian prisons like the Kirikiri maximum and medium prisons stand out. For example, this farm, fish ponds, poultry and several others are managed by these inmates.
And it's because the federal government gave the permit for reformers to come in, aside from what the prison officers are doing.
No matter how little they get from it, they are engaging themselves. And the joy of it all is that when they see this happening, they know that there is hope for them.
It's also a big plus for our prison system.
A non-governmental organization went a step further to make the study of computer accessible to these inmates.
We run primary and secondary school here. Those of them that pass their GC very well, and we enroll them to Open University.
The idea behind all these, caregivers and prison officials say, is not to promote crime and criminality in society, but to make them better citizens. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA Network News. More reports ahead after this time out. Just stay with us.
Can you supply 1,000 bottles of juice by noon?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, bye.
Hello?
One day, I go any store and say I want everything.
Jenny, auntie, please, I need a loan.
One day, anything I want,
hurry up.
Get it times 2. Someday, I'll be living.
Hello?
Clean
that up.
Because I don't get the money, you downgrade me.
Your order is on the way.
Are you an entrepreneur looking for financing to grow a business? I have good news for you. Development Bank of Nigeria now provides sustainable financing through commercial banks, microfinance banks, and other financial institutions with repayment terms of up to 10 years. Please do remember, paying back your loan in good time will give you access to more loans.
Development Bank of Nigeria, financing sustainable growth.
Kehinde suffers from indigestion. His twin Taiyi suffers from heartburn. Sometimes it's the other way around, or both. That's why they use Gaviscon Double Action. It soothes within 3 minutes and lasts for up to 4 hours. For double relief from heartburn and indigestion, Gaviscon Double Action.
Cadbury Hot Chocolate 3-in-1, a delicious combination of rich cocoa and wholesome goodness of milk. Just add hot water to get an instant chocolatey treat that delights your senses. Cadbury Hot Chocolate 3-in-1. Just add hot water.
Come join us. Mom says we have more than enough.
Wherever you may travel, whoever you will be with, we wish you a supreme Christmas. Be supreme, Nigeria.
Team huddle.
But we lost.
Don't be tired, guys. This isn't a loss. It's a practice for winning.
Nothing makes a mother prouder than seeing her child growing up. But I know as he learns to lead, he'll face even more dirt, germs, and risk of illness.
That's why in changing seasons, you need strong Dettol protection. Because Dettol protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Growing up needs Dettol protection.
Kehinde suffers from indigestion. His twin Taiyi suffers from heartburn. Sometimes it's the other way around, or both. That's why they use Gaviscon Double Action. It soothes within 3 minutes and lasts for up to 4 hours. For double relief from heartburn and indigestion, Gaviscon Double Action.
It's an African one. Yeah. Whether you come here to break dance, you come here to shake hands, you come here to make plans. Never would it reach us motherland. Whether you come here to rock with me, oh, I've been out to find food, oh, everything day, oh, never would it reach us motherland. Anywhere you go, London, USA, nowhere be like Africa.
Nowhere be like home. Anywhere you go, New York, Chicago. Nowhere be like Africa. Nowhere be like home.
This festive season, there's no place like home. Get a GoTV decoder and GoTenna and 1 month of GoTV Max subscription for only 6,900 Naira. GoTV. Live it, love it.
Thank you for staying with us. President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed great sadness at the news of the passing away of the first executive president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Alhaji Shehu Usman Aliyu Shagari. In a statement, President Buhari says on behalf of his family, the government and people of Nigeria, it is with immense sadness that he received the news of the passing away of the first executive president of Nigeria, Alhaji Shehu Shagari, which happened this Friday in Abuja. The president described the death as the departure of a patriot whose life of service and humility was widely acknowledged. President Buhari recalled part of the birthday message he sent to Shagari last February when he said, "We're enthralled and regaled with many years of unequaled patriotism, sacrifices and contributions to national development. More specifically, we celebrate the role modeling qualities of integrity, diligence and humility that have been the hallmark of your visionary leadership." President Buhari is, however, grateful to God that Alhaji Shehu Shagari lived to a ripe age and led an exemplary life, which he urges Nigerians of all walks of life to emulate. He said Nigerians held Shagari in the highest esteem until his demise and will forever miss his wise counsel. He prayed Almighty God to comfort the family of the former president and all those who mourn him and grant his soul eternal rest. Talking business now, the federal government projects 2019 spending at 2.14 trillion naira in servicing debt. Chimobi Walton Naji will tell us more on business news. It's over to you, Chimobi.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Now, the Nigerian Debt Management Office says the debt management strategy of government will guide the nation's borrowing in 2019. The Director General Debt Management Office, Ms. Patience Oniha, says the strategy will ensure a reduction in the nation's debt profile and involve critical stakeholders in the borrowing process.
So that strategy that we are running, which still runs till 2019, seeks to achieve really a debt stock that is prudent and judicious use of resources that are borrowed. Okay, so we want to borrow at as low cost as possible.
However, she notes that the payment of inherited debt by government will see a rise in Nigeria's debt stock for the coming fiscal year. The federal government plans to spend 2.14 trillion naira in servicing debt. It is, of course, 24.24% of planned spending. And now to the Nigerian Stock Exchange. The capital market closed flat Friday, 28 December at 2.07%, with an all-share index of 31,037.72 basis points. A total of 4,000 deals were traded, valued at 6 0.5 million naira. Wema Bank led the top traded equities with a volume of 657 million valued at 335.8 million naira. Diamond Bank, however, came second on the gainers table ahead of UAC Prop with a 0.18% change. Ikeja Hotel came up on the losers table to close at minus 0.17%. Those are the closing figures for the week ended 28 December. And it's also important to note that the Nigerian Stock Exchange reached an all-time high of 45,092.83 basis points in January 2018, Elizabeth.
Well, Chimobi, we hope that next year will give us better figures on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Now, one way of curbing communal clashes is for traditional leaders of all ethnic groups to promote interpersonal relationship, especially on matters of tolerance and uprightness. These formed the thrust of discussions as the king of Okorieleme community in Rivers State, His Royal Highness Apollos Chu, interacted with some people from different parts of the country in Niger State. Chimdima Ndibisi tells us more.
National cohesion and cultural integration are messages that have been reverberating across the length and breadth of the country. The people expected to drive these to the grassroots are traditional leaders. This is the standpoint of the Egbere Meru Okorieleme, an ardent believer in Nigeria's unity. A message he is re-echoing as he holds conversations with his friends of like passion for a better Nigeria, devoid of ethnic and religious sentiments.
We must rise up and correct ourselves and move forward and move this country forward. This country is just all we have. As soon as we start developing that closeness, believing on ourselves, and then start passing the message to our children and our relatives, we shall have a wonderful nation.
For these major generals, the king of Okorieleme is our true peace ambassador, especially in reaching out to not just his counterparts, but to all. They are therefore encouraging him to continue his message on peaceful coexistence as the impact is being felt.
You are connected the north to the east, the north with the south-south, the north with the southwest. If the government understands the effort you are making, they're supposed to give you an additional title.
You stand out as a role model. You are spending all your life, your energy, your resources to unite this country.
Their general interest is building a stronger and more united Nigeria. Chimdima Ndubisi, NTA News.
We'll now take another break. Sports update when we return. Stay with us.